Hello, beautiful people. I hope you are doing well. We have to talk about the elephant in the room and the monkey on your back, excess potential. Now, I want to let you know what this is so we can get a little bit oriented before we dive in. So excess potential is what you can think of when you are pursuing something, where you have a big goal, big dream, and you're moving forward in that direction. Or another example would be excess potential, where you put someone on a pedestal, you think of them very highly, whether this is a boss, romantic interests, maybe a parent, maybe someone in your family, where you just really revere everything that they say and do, and maybe that they've given you this impression that you should. Excess potential is essentially us putting importance on something that may or may not need or deserve that purpose and what it does in our lives. So you clicked on this because I'm going to explain how excess potential is ruining your life and what you can do about it. So in life, we are presented with a disaster. A disaster is when we lose something that we have put importance on, right? This can be anything that comes to mind for you. I think one easy one I like to go to is relationships, because it's really easy for me to put people or the idea of, that love on a pedestal. So it becomes like this lofty goal, right? This dream that you're moving towards. And that's all fine and dandy, but at the same time, it's also heartbreaking and gut-wrenching when we lose that, right? We lose that illusion of what we had and what we were building. And this can also happen if you put that much importance on a job and maybe you lose your job. But the idea of all this excess potential, it's not only stealing joy from you because you are comparing yourself to where you need to be, so you'll be happy when you get there. But the problem is, most people are not happy when they get there, when they get that thing, when they get that love. They're not happy because they put the importance on this lofty thing. They did not put the happiness on the journey or being content in what they have now, but in this goal, right? This pursuit. And that's fine, but no, it could be ruining your life. The pursuit is worthwhile. I think we should all have goals that we're moving towards, but it's our energy with what we do with it. If we put so much importance on it that it's do or die, we need to have this before we will be happy, content, satisfied, etc., then we're doing ourselves a disservice, because as soon as we get that, we've conditioned ourselves to be in love with the pursuit, and once we get it, we will no longer be happy because we now need to chase and pursue something else. Now, excess potential, I think, is one of those things where, you can think about people that are motivated or unmotivated, right? And we kind of move through this from time to time. I think there's a lot to be said for those that can be content with what they have gratitude and build that. Lots of studies show that gratitude will rewire your brain in such a way that you will start to see the good in things. You will just naturally have better energy, better vibes, right? Excess potential is kind of like saying, I'm not good enough where I am. It's putting importance on something, some goal, some future vision, and saying, I'm going to wait until I get that. I'm not good enough until I get that. I'm not worthy of certain things until I get that, whether that's your own self-approval, whether that's your own congratulations. And it's a detriment, right? And I think in society now, if you're not moving towards some sort of goal, you're not hustling, right? It's like, what are you doing? It's shameful, right? You have guilt placed on you, and it's just not a good experience. And that's just what happens externally, right? These forces that influence how we think and feel. But what if we drop the need to do anything, to become anyone? What I've noticed is we drop the pressure. And if there's no pressure, then we're just going to do what we want to do anyways. I think pressure and excess potential is only helpful in certain degrees, right? Certain small doses. but not in a way to say that our value is hinged upon us achieving this thing, getting this person, right? I think we have to learn to detach in such a way that we're fine if it happens or if it doesn't happen. Genuinely, right? To know that that doesn't matter. And no matter what, it's still an illusion. These things that we're going for, we don't even know if it's going to bring us, the money, the happiness, the satisfaction. It's all just a pursuit of that. And there's a lot you can learn from this, right? It's like, well, why don't I just give myself those things now? What does that do? What does that do in my story if the pursuit is no longer here? And whatever I was hoping to get from these external things, I can just give to myself now. If it's a job and status, what if I am worthy enough now? What if what I have is enough now? As an exercise, what if we do that? Or if we're seeking love, I think for me, I've been able to detach in a lot of ways. I find that I get this pattern that still occurs, which I'm gonna break it. But this pattern of putting love and whoever I'm with as like this almost like holy grail, like this like guiding light, right? And the problem with that is the excess potential problem, where I'm putting way too much importance on that, where it needs to unfold how it will. And even if things are said, or if there's a shared vision or this or that, that's not actual reality. That's an illusion that we're pursuing, right? But that importance is literally what drives it away, right? It's that importance that we put upon things that make it harder for us to get there, makes it harder for us to appreciate what is currently, because we're so focused on that illusion, right? That we miss what's here right now. We miss that right now is all we have. And this topic ties in. So, anything that you're going for in the future, it's all an illusion. It's all a hope. It's a dream. And you've convinced yourself it's real, which is fine. You got to do what you got to do to make it through life. But it is an illusion just as much as everything in the past is also an illusion. You might think it's not because you're sure it happened. But how sure can you be? Because what you remember is just what you experienced. It's not the truth. I don't think there's ever any way we can experience a truth other than knowing that it is what we experience. So to us, it's our point of view. Which is funny because don't you notice how it gets diluted over time? You think of a memory, you go back, and like maybe the next day it's very clear. 2 days later, less clear. A year out, the memory is chopped up so much that it's completely different. You can notice this when you're recalling dreams too. It's so clear, like as soon as you wake up. But then when you start to talk about it, it just like, it falls away. And all you have is words. You can't, we're so limited in just words. So I'd encourage you to start viewing these things, these places that you have excess potential, as illusions. And what would happen if you drop the story of what it will be, what it will provide you? What would happen? What would that feel like? I think you would get to a place that you're so stripped of the past, of the future, that you are just here right now, in this moment that we're in, for instance. And when there's nothing pulling you to the future or pulling you back, you're just right here, right now. You're just here, right now. And when you're in the moment, you would do whatever the moment dictates. There wouldn't be fear of how you're presenting. For instance, like with this channel, I really don't care what happens. My goal is just to be authentic. I actually am getting a lot of value out of just speak my truth. And, I was worried at first, right? There was like a little bit of fear, but I was like, I'll get over that fear. The fear didn't make any sense, but the fear was because I had initially put a little bit too much importance on it. But as soon as I dropped that and realized I've got nothing to lose, I've got only things to gain here by speaking my complete truth in every situation, whether it resonates or not, I was like, okay, who cares? Who cares? This is for me. I didn't feel like I had a space in my life that I could talk to people currently because I've changed so much. Things have shifted so much. So I was like, okay, I'll just do this. And it's my very lack of caring that I think is letting this thing grow. So it's really remarkable. If you can find something that you just don't care about, but that you could do maybe consistently or gives you that space to be your true self. Or if you're interested in starting a business, what low effort thing could you do, even if it's not that thing, right? But get to a place that you're separating this need for this big goal, this big outcome to occur. Like, what happens when you just go with the flow? There's no grand vision, there's no master plan, there's no guarantee. It's just you're here right now, trying to show up for the you that is here right now. What would that look like for you? To just show up for yourself right now. Not future you, not past you. Give them love, send them love, but the only thing we ever do is right here, right now. We don't take any actions in the past. We don't take actions in the future. By the time it comes, it's right here, right now. And I think excess potential has definitely derailed me in a lot of ways. I wasted a lot of time in my life hustling and pursuing, but it would never fulfill me. And I don't have to spend decades doing that. I spent a decade doing that. That's long enough to realize it wasn't working for me. It's like, how long are you going to run? How long are you going to run from How long are you going to run from you? That you're worthy, that you're good enough now. That it doesn't matter. Those things you pursue, you're going to get them. You are always going to get them. That business you want to create, you will create it. That love, it will happen. You don't have to worry. You don't have to stress. You don't have to fight so hard. And what good is it doing you anyways? Is it actually bringing you closer to your goal? Or does it feel like you're spinning your wheels yet again? Similar situation. Yet no further ahead, no happier, no fulfilled, no more sure of yourself, even with all the pressure and stress you put on yourself to be perfect. Do you see? It's like a little monkey on your back just whispering, do more, be more, achieve more. It's like, for what? I think we all will find our way in life. We have different seasons that we can learn from. I tend to see that the worst things that can possibly happen to us end up guiding us to the next season of our lives gracefully. Or sometimes not gracefully, sometimes we get thrown into it, you know? But think about that. Think about excess potential, where it is in your life. If it's causing you stress, unnecessary tension, unnecessary narratives about you, about people, about situations that just don't deserve that attention, wouldn't benefit from it anyway. You just waste it. So definitely chime in if this was impactful for you. Would love to hear your thoughts on this. I think we're all just making our way through life, and I appreciate you listening to this topic. I hope it resonated, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.